On the Gamebridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to This Week in Ball State Sports, a Ball State athletics podcast, highlighting the Cardinals athletic teams and administration each week, presented by Gamebridge. Here's the voice of the Cardinals, your host, Mick Tidrow.
Hey, Cardinals fans, we've hit episode 30 on This Week in Ball State Sports. We have a fun podcast for you this week. Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell joins us. Merritt Beeker, who was an absolute stud this weekend on the baseball diamond, pitched 7 innings of 2-run baseball, had a no-hitter through 5 innings. He joins us on the podcast here. And Elizabeth Rowray from the Greater Muncie Chamber of Commerce joins us as well. So episode 30, awesome conversations. And we start off with Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell. Jeff, we've gone 30 episodes now, and you've been on all but 2 of them. So I appreciate all the time and dedication you've given to not only Ball State athletics, but this podcast, and also happy 1 year at Ball State.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mick. It's always a pleasure to visit with you. And yeah, it's hard to believe that it's been a full year. It's been a sprint, as I often describe it to people who ask, how's it been? And it feels like I've just been constantly running. And that's par for the course, I think, when you come into the position, certainly at a new place. I've had a lot to learn, a lot of people to meet, but it's been so much fun. And our community has been so welcoming to my family and me, and we've had a blast in this first year. But it's been really busy, but it's been really productive. We've won a lot of championships. We've excelled in the classroom. We've been involved and engaged in the community, and I think we've got nothing but upside in front of us. As a department, the institution as a whole is in such a strong place. We operate from a position of strength, and we're in a topsy-turvy time in higher education and college athletics. And so for me, there's a real joy to be at a place that does things in a strategic way, but in a purposeful way too, to how we serve our community, not only on campus, but also within the Muncie community and the broader East Central Indiana community, and the place that we have, even in Indianapolis. I mean, the vast majority of alums of Ball State live in Indianapolis, and that drives the state of Indiana. And so that to me is a compelling part of why I'm here, is to help continue to build those leaders and winners from an athletics standpoint with the student athletes that we serve, and that we're developing their human potential every day. So it's been an absolute pleasure and a joy to be here. My family and I are thrilled to be Cardinals.
Jeff, you mentioned the topsy-turvy point of collegiate athletics right now and in colleges as a whole. How have you seen, in your role as a first-time AD, yourself navigate these waters with your staff, with your coaches, with your student athletes, and help Ball State continue to push forward?
Yeah, I think it's been a balance between trying to be proactive and being in front of some of these issues, and quite frankly, playing the wait and see card too. Rules change constantly. The NCAA is the subject of multiple lawsuits. States are starting to, and have, I guess, for several years now, to implement their own laws relative to what NCAA regulations are. And it's, there's a call for congressional action. And so it's just a lot. And to try to stay on top of it takes some dedication, to try to balance how we talk to coaches and student athletes too, for that matter, about what's real and what's not. It's not easy. And I don't know that anybody can say that they've done a masterful job of it, because it's changing so frequently. But I do think that my general message has been, we get to control what we can. And from a Ball State standpoint, it's pretty easy. We know what Ball State is. We know what we can control, and we attack that. And then other things that are happening around us is really just noise. sometimes we have to react to it. Sometimes we can play a proactive card and get out in front of some things. But for the most part, we have to do what is in the best interest of Ball State and control what we can. And there's some advantage to that. We need to be confident in who we are and what we can control, and not worry about what other places are doing, because the circumstances are different on every campus. So I think that Ball State is very strong. Now we've got some things that we need to continue to do, and that comes in the form of that name, image, and likeness standpoint. We appreciate what Feed the Bird Collective is doing, and we need to continue to develop that as our landscape continues to change. And we need to understand that the student athletes are going to be viewed differently sooner rather than later in terms of what their status looks like, whether it's an employment issue potentially, or employment status or not. I think that's still up in the air right now, but it's changing. What's not changing, though, or at least what I hope doesn't change, is the impact that our people, our coaches, our staff, our more broadly, our faculty, the impact that we have on our students, and that includes the student athlete population, because I think we're positioned to help mentor and guide and coach and develop them as human beings. And I mean, that's this central tenet of what we do as educators. And so I hope that we don't completely abandon that mission. I don't think a place like Ball State will, but we have to continue to, in my opinion, hone in on that this is what we're supposed to do. And some other things can change, and we have to be nimble. We have to adapt. I think, the words nimble and adapt are very true today. I think we have to be that. But at the same time, I think we can be nimble, we can adapt, but we can also continue to coach and mentor and teach and develop the human potential of the 450 student athletes that we serve on a daily basis.
Right, because there is a balance, and there has to be some sort of balance, right? There can't just be one way or the other. And you mentioned being nimble and being adaptive. Like those are qualities of a department that thrive, and those are qualities that you have to have.
That's correct. Yeah. And I think we do that well. And I think our coaches adapting to the way recruiting is being done right now with the transfer portal. And it's not easy for them. I've had some difficult conversations with some of them, and it's hard. But what I never hear from them is we're going to stop. Right? There's always that attitude of perseverance, and we're going to do what's best for our specific program, and that's all we can ask for. I mean, that's it. We all want to know what the rules are, and I think we need some clarity, and that's something that we trumpet, from my seat, from my colleagues across the country. In that athletic director chair, we're all clamoring for clarity. We're all clamoring for, tell us the rules. That it's so refreshing to go play a game, right? To whether it's football, basketball, baseball, softball, tennis, whatever the sport, the competitors are playing by a very specific set of rules, and everybody knows what they are. And it just makes playing so enjoyable because we're just all playing by the same set of rules. Well, the broader rules of intercollegiate athletics are so loose right now that we don't know what the rules are, and that makes it difficult. And so that's what we're championing right now, is a consistent set of rules that we can all abide by and play with, and hopefully restore some of the normalcy to what we like to do on a daily basis.
Yes, sometimes it may feel weird to say this, but the simplest part of it sometimes is the competition. When the competition is at the core of what the student athlete experience is on the athlete side of things, and then everything else, like you said, the broader scope is what the discussion can sometimes be around. Jeff, you mentioned several times helping program thrive and continuing to adapt. One of those ways that fans, community members, donors can be involved in that and supporting the student athletes is One Ball State Day, which is coming up tomorrow. and an annual day of giving to Ball State and specifically the athletics department. What does that mean to you as you're going into this for the second time, but really for the first time having all of this in a grasp?
Yeah, so it's been really fun for me to watch this develop as the Ball State Foundation has been preparing for One Ball State Day, and as our department has been preparing for it as well. I came here last year, and everything was pretty much cooked in terms of what we were doing for One Ball State Day, and so I just got to watch and observe, and it was super successful, and it was a ton of fun. And so I've been waiting with anticipation for this year's One Ball State Day. And yes, it's April 3rd, and there's so many ways that our fans and alumni and friends can contribute to the athletics department, but certainly the university more broadly through One Ball State Day. And the impact's real. It's a one day of giving. There are no baked in gifts. It's truly just a day of philanthropy from the part of people that really love Ball State. Some places like to bake in big gifts, and they all kind of attribute it to this one central day of giving, whereas Ball State really goes about it from an organic standpoint of it's just a day. It's just a day in the calendar. And yes, we're going to devote our effort to fundraising, but it's going to be really on that day of giving. And it's kind of cool and unique in that way. So from an athletic standpoint, we've got everything from our Cardinal Varsity Club, sport specific funds across all of our 19 sports, to just the Athletic Directors Fund, the Cardinal Excellence Fund. Anything that comes to athletics will be utilized either by our teams or in a strategic way to help better promote our teams. We've also got facility projects that we're working on. Our Championship Performance Center, we're working on a baseball and softball clubhouse project as well, and giving to those causes through the Athletic Directors Fund is a way to do that. So plenty of options, and our coaches have been preparing to engage with alumni, friends, and fans. Certainly, we'll be doing the same thing from an administrative standpoint. We'll have a lot of social media content. We'll be out and around campus, promoting the day. So it'll be a lot of fun, and it's really a time to celebrate Ball State and to celebrate on our end, specifically Ball State athletics. So I'm excited, and I think the appetite's there to be for it to be a great day, and for people to really enjoy seeing their donations go to a great cause.
Are you gonna join me and a few others in the Dash and Splash this year? I heard that maybe there's a possibility, but
so there's a real possibility, Mick, of you participating in the Dash and Splash, with you being on a duck and racing. Now, look, you'll have ample support cheering you on, chief of which will be me. But I just warn you, I might have a water gun. And
the support comes with action. Okay.
Yes, the support comes with action, but not to spray you, which one might think would happen. No, I will be attacking your competitor so as to give you an advantage. Right.
This is good. I'll take that.
Yes. Now, if an errant spray of water happens to hit you, that's just because it's the nature of the environment in which you'll be in, right? You're going to be in the pool, and it's going to be wet, and there may be an errant spray of water, but most of it will be directed at your competitor.
I respect that. And I'll take errant sprays if it has to happen, but that's going to be a fun event. There's going to be so much happening across campus.
And thank you, Mick, for participating and being an athletics representative in the Dash and Splash. And
Absolutely.
We fully anticipate that you will win.
I'm ready to go. I've been warming up, been doing my stretches. It all will change as soon as I get on the duck, but the mindset's there. Do some meditating, we'll be in good shape.
It's the most important thing.
Oh, Jeff, it's going to be a fun day on Wednesday for One Ball State Day. Check out ballstatesports.com. Also, make sure that you're following Ball State Sports social media because you'll see different teams posting. You'll see all the content coming out, like Jeff mentioned. So be in tune with that. If you feel compelled to give and to help Ball State athletics, please do. We all appreciate your support. Jeff, looking at some of our teams in specific, baseball got right back on track this weekend. 3 huge wins, series win in action against Ohio, great pitching performances in all 3 games from several people. That was a really good series for Ball State baseball to get 3 wins.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Maloney before the series, he was encouraged by the fact that some of our student athletes that have been banged up, both offensively and on the mound, are getting healthy. And his note to me was, we just have to weather the storm. And if we can weather the storm and we get everybody back healthy, we have a chance to make a run. And we weathered the storm a little bit this weekend by sweeping Ohio, a good Ohio team, and we've won 5 in a row now. We're going into hosting Bellarmine as the recording drops today. We've moved that game due to weather, and we're going to try to play that game, weather permitting, in Muncie on Tuesday, April the 2nd. So we're trying to stack wins, right, and create your own momentum. Winning is a habit, so the more opportunities you have to do it, the better it is. And our team is starting to play that Ball State brand of baseball that I was used to watching last year, and certainly something that's been missing a little bit is that connected and loose style of play. They've been pressing a little bit. It's easy to do in the sport of baseball. And so I was pleased to see them just play, and a Rich Maloney style of baseball, and good pitching, great defense, and really good offense as well. So I think as they continue here in the halfway part of the season, that they're going to play their best baseball down the stretch.
It's just clinical what Janelle Rogers is doing at this point as a Ball State track and field student athlete. Another big performance for her down in Texas to capture another win.
Yeah, winning the heptathlon at the Texas Relays is a really big deal. It's an arduous event, spans over 2 days, and Janelle is, as she always is, poised and controlled and competitive. And she just was dominant in all those events. And she's improving in events where she's not as strong, but her collective performance is just amazing. And so to win the way she did continues to position her in and to place her in contention for a national championship. We'll see. We're certainly not putting a lot of pressure on her, but we are so proud of her with the way she's performing, and she's just an amazing athlete and so much fun to watch. And she works so hard at it, and she's a phenomenal student too. I mean, she is the definition of what we are trying to develop here within Ball State athletics. She is very much so a leader and a winner, and she's a great teammate. So you want to build a team around the Janelle Rogers of the world for sure.
She was up 300 points after day 1 in Texas. Just speaks to what she's been able to do on a performance by performance basis. Janelle Rogers, again, just cruising to wins. Men's tennis picked up an Easter Sunday victory as well. That team is primed to make a run here down the stretch, Jeff.
Yeah, they played well this weekend, winning not only on Easter Sunday, but on Friday as well. That was their last home match, or the last home matches of the season. And they go on the road now for, I think, their final 3 before the conference tournament. So looking to be in a position to be competitive in that conference tournament. So Bill Richards continues to do an amazing job with our men's tennis team, and looking forward to the stretch run here.
Well, Jeff, before we let you go here on episode 30 of This Week in Ball State Sports, anything you want to share with the Ball State fans, crowd, or anything we haven't touched on yet today?
I think the biggest thing is just the support on One Ball State Day. It's a big day for the university. It's a big day for athletics, and we're excited about our future and what we're doing. And despite the steady stream of changes that are coming our way in intercollegiate athletics and in higher education, but you want to you want to celebrate this place for what it is. And, celebration is a key part of what we do. We like to celebrate our wins, and we like to celebrate who we are and what we stand for. And so I invite those listeners to support Ball State on One Ball State Day. And we look forward to continuing to promote the brand and to celebrate our great institution with you. And we appreciate your help.
Awesome. Well, Jeff, we appreciate you. We may see you jump in the pool. Who knows? Maybe I'll convince you by Wednesday, but appreciate you as always.
Thank you, Mick. Go Cards.
Sometimes it's not the moment. It's the moment before the moment. The moment you make a choice. The moment you take control. The moment only you can own. Gainbridge lets you invest on your terms. So you're not only in charge of this moment, but all the moments to come. Start investing now at Gainbridge.io.
Welcome back inside to episode 30 of This Week in Ball State Sports. And today we're pleased to be joined by Ball State starting pitcher Merritt Beeker. Merritt, really appreciate you joining us here on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Thanks for having me.
Merritt, how's the arm feel after 7 strong this past weekend against Ohio?
Feels about as good as it can right now, honestly. I mean, it's a little sore, but I'm just feeling better each day. So I think I'm in a good spot with it.
At this point in the season, what are you doing to help condition that arm, make sure you're good for the back half of the year?
Well, I do a bunch of arm care stuff and a bunch of mobility and things like that throughout the week, just to make sure that I'm staying healthy. I go and see our trainer, Levi Hicks, a few days a week and do some treatment and just stuff like that. It's pretty much an everyday thing just to keep it healthy because it takes a lot. But yeah, I'm staying on top of it.
From your perspective, Merritt, this year, how have you seen just your performance go this year, and what are you looking to hopefully continue to build on?
Well, every time that I get out there and I take the mound, my only goal is just to give the team a chance to win and put ourselves in a good spot to win a ball game. From the start of the year to where I'm at now, I feel more confident now. At the beginning of the year, my first few years of college baseball, I didn't really have a whole lot of innings or experience under my belt, so I was still trying to get my feet wet a little bit. But now that we're 6, 7, going into 8 weeks into the season, I feel a lot more confident.
How are you seeing the pitching staff as a whole continue to build on that confidence?
Yeah, this last week has been huge for us. We've hit the ball very well and we pitched the ball. We've done everything really well this week, and I think a lot of the guys are building off of that, and we've been getting quality starts each game and everything like that from the starters pitching wise. So being able to take that into the back half of the games and the guys coming in being able to have that confidence and knowing that we've been putting up runs offensively and we've put ourselves in a good spot to win, I think that's helped out a whole lot.
And we saw that offense hit the long ball pretty well against Ohio, didn't we?
Yeah, they did. They got it going this weekend.
When you're having the offense hit like that in a series like that, and on the first game, Thursday, the comeback win, how does that just help bring the juice for the pitching staff too, to have the complement of the staff and the lineup doing what they did?
Yeah, it's awesome. It makes it so much more freeing whenever you're pitching to know that once you go in and we're hitting, that they can put up crooked numbers each inning. And it, like I said, it makes it a lot more freeing, and it gives you more confidence as a pitcher. So you don't have to think that you have to be too perfect all the time. You know what I mean? And you know that you can just go out there and be yourself, and you know the offense is going to have your back and the defense is going to play good behind you as well.
So you pitched in game 2 of this last series against Ohio. Game 1 is 6-2 on Thursday, going into the bottom of the 8th inning. Offense goes ahead and scores 5 runs to win it. Like, what is happening in the dugout as that 8th inning is transpiring to jumpstart that rally?
It's just everybody staying together and knowing that, it's baseball, so you never know what can happen. There's crazy things that happen all the time. You're never out of a game, doesn't matter what the score is. So we knew that going into it, and we knew that our offense was capable of putting together a good amount of runs. So we were just stringing at bats together one at a time, just passing the torch on to the next person. And I think they did a great job of doing that and paid off in the end. So, yeah, I'm super happy about that. And it was good to start out that series 1-0 after coming back from behind and winning that game for sure.
And then you take the ball in game 2. You were throwing a no-no through 5. What was working for you?
Well, I mean, each time that I go out there, I in my mind, I tell myself it's a 0-0 ball game or it's a tie game or whatever it might be. So that way, like, I don't get unfocused. I'm always staying on attack mode. Doesn't matter what inning it is or the score. So, I mean, I honestly, like, I didn't even really realize that I had that going on until after the game. But yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. But yeah.
Merritt, what have you learned most about being a part of this Ball State baseball team?
The thing that I've learned the most is just to be confident in being myself whenever I'm playing. In the past, I used to probably try to be somebody that I wasn't, try to do too much when I was out there when I got my opportunity. Now I'm just worried about being myself and knowing that that's good enough for the team and doing whatever I can to help the team win, no matter what it may be. Cheering on the guys days I'm not pitching, helping guys out at practice, doing whatever it is, just to help the team win and put ourselves in good spots to compete for championships.
So you're in your first season with Ball State. Coach Wexler's in his first season coaching here at Ball State. How has he helped you, and how have you been able to work with him to get you where you want to be?
Well, Wex is awesome. We all love him. He's a great dude. He always makes it fun to be at the field and everything. He makes everything enjoyable. But the thing is with him, he's like a super competitive guy, and he comes with a lot of baseball knowledge. I mean, he played many years in the minor leagues. He was a great pitcher here at Ball State, scout for many years. So he knows the game really, really well, and he's always open to help each and every one of us. And the one thing that I do love about him is like I said, that want for competition and embracing the competition, and he kind of puts that on for all of us, and we kind of feed off of it, and it's really fun.
Merritt Beeker joining us here on episode 30 of This Week in Ball State Sports. MAC Pitcher of the Week. Congratulations on that, Merritt. I should have started with that at the very beginning of the show, but congratulations there.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Merritt, let's go into your journey a little bit more. You're transferring to Ball State. It's your first year in the Cardinal and White. What was your experience like before Ball State to get you here?
Well, I came from East Carolina. I played my first 2 years there, and we had a lot of success as a team, and historically, we had a lot of success in baseball. And my freshman year, like, we hosted a super regional. Sophomore year, we went to a regional. So that was a really cool experience for me, just to be able to be a part of that, even though I didn't really play a whole lot during those 2 years. It was just a really nice experience to be able to, like, see that and be in that environment. Because now that I'm here at Ball State, I know what it's like to be there. I know how much fun it is and the competition and everything. So I'm striving to get there again with this team. But the difference what led me to transfer is just I wanted to find a place where I was going to get a little bit more opportunity, and you get the ball consistently and be at a place just where I can grow more as a person and baseball player. And I thank God that I landed up at Ball State, because this has been the best experience of my baseball career so far, for sure.
Merritt, when did you start playing baseball?
I started playing around the age of 4. Yeah, I started pretty early. My dad got me into T-ball. He's a big baseball fan, so yeah, I started out pretty early.
And when you're going through the process, when did you realize that college baseball was going to be a part of your life?
Well, I growing up and everything, I played baseball, football, and basketball. And once I got to high school, I knew that baseball is what I wanted to do after high school and everything. So once I got into high school, I put the other two to the side and just focused on baseball from there. And I mean, it's always been my dream to play college or professional baseball. So yeah, I would say when I got into high school is definitely whenever I made that decision, this is for sure what I want to do.
Was your dad telling you to be a left-handed pitcher growing up, or was that something that you just kind of grew into? They knew lefties were, very, people want left-handed pitchers.
Yeah, well, whenever I was young, the glove that my dad got me my very first glove was a glove to where I would throw the ball left-handed. So got me a righty glove. I do everything else right-handed for the most part, except throw
Really?
baseball. So I was pretty much told that I was going to be left-handed. So looking back on it, I'm thankful for that because, I feel like it's helped me out. But yeah, I feel like if that weren't the case, I probably would be right-handed.
So you shoot a basketball right-handed though?
That's the only other thing besides throw baseball that I do left-handed. I shoot basketball left-handed, but I write right-handed. I eat right-handed. Like I do pretty much everything right-handed.
Merritt, as we're looking forward to the rest of the season, still so much to go ahead in conference play and in some of those midweek games as well. What do you think this Ball State baseball team is capable of?
I think that we're capable of winning championships and hopefully playing in a regional and super regional and college world series one day. Obviously we didn't start out the season the way that we wanted to, and we know we were capable of playing better, but I think over this last week, you've kind of been able to see what this team is actually really capable of. And we're just going to try to take that one game at a time and one series at a time. There's still a lot of games left in the season. So never know what can happen, but that's what our goal is. And that's what I believe that we're capable of for sure.
What has been your favorite part about being a Ball State baseball player?
Just coming together as a team. This is a really new team, and there's a lot of different guys, new guys on this team. Pretty sure we have more transfers and freshmen, like new players into the program than we do returners. So being able to mesh together as well as we have, and everybody coming together as friends, everybody gets along really well. That's been the coolest thing for me, just seeing how that's unfolded.
Well, Merritt, that has to be pretty special because, like you mentioned, so many newcomers, either via transfer or freshmen, and a first-year pitching coach. To have the staff be as well connected as you're saying it is, that's pretty cool, right? To be able to have that connectedness.
Yeah, because you never know how well you never know how that can go. That could go south in an instant. But thankfully, Coach Maloney's built a really good culture here over the years, and the standard's what it is, so it doesn't matter if we have a bunch of new guys or if everybody's returning players. In his eyes, the standard's going to be the same for everybody. So, yeah, thankfully he's built a really good culture for us all to come into.
How has that? I love that. How has that standard helped you in your first year at Ball State?
It's just helped me come acclimated a little bit better. I know what I need to do on a daily basis each and every day, and I know how he is going to view what I'm doing or what his expectations are, and it's openly communicated to. It's not open for what I believe it may be. That's just the way it is. So that's helped me out in knowing what I need to do on a daily basis and not trying to have to figure it out for myself.
Merritt, before we let you go here on the podcast, what's a fun fact that people may not know about you?
I get put on the spot with this one. I got a great one. This is what I usually go to. I can't believe I forgot it. But my cousin's married to the president of Chick-fil-A Corporation. That's not a fun fact.
That's wild.
Yep. That's my fun fact.
Where do they live?
Atlanta.
Okay. Yep. How long have they been married?
They've been married, I think they're going on 5 or 6 years or something like that. I'm not awfully too sure. It's not like a really, really close relative, but yeah, it's my cousin down the road a little bit.
That's a great fun fact. I love that. That's a great way to put a bow on the show, Merritt. We really appreciate you joining us this week in Ball State Sports. Congrats on Pitcher of the Week in the conference, and continue the great success you're having this year. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sometimes it's not the moment. It's the moment before the moment. The moment you make a choice. The moment you take control. The moment only you can own. Gainbridge lets you invest on your terms, so you're not only in charge of this moment, but all the moments to come. Start investing now at Gainbridge.io.
Welcome back into This Week in Ball State Sports. On the podcast today, we're pleased to be joined by Elizabeth Rowray over with the Chamber of Commerce. Elizabeth, thank you so much for taking some time and joining us.
Thank you so much, Mick, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Elizabeth, for some that may not know what the Chamber of Commerce is, what would be the best way for you to describe it for people to learn more?
Oh, I love to get that question when people say, what does the chamber do? So chambers across the entire globe, believe it or not, they basically exist for three different reasons. The main reason is networking, and people do that at different events to help their businesses grow. The chambers also offer educational opportunities. So back in the day, before computers existed, if you needed to learn how to do some sort of accounting, you would come to your chamber and you would literally learn it on an overhead projector. And then when Excel first started, you would go to your local chamber and be taught how to do Excel. So educational opportunities are a good resource that your chambers will offer. And then third is advocacy. And so we have the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and they advocate on behalf of businesses at the federal level. We have the Indiana Chamber, and they advocate for businesses at the state government level. And then you have your local chambers, and they will help you with your local business issues at your local government level. So if you have some red tape issues that you need taken care of, with maybe a building, with the building commissioner or at City Hall or tax abatement, we help you with that. So three primary reasons are networking, educational opportunities, and advocacy. And the Greater Chamber of Muncie, or Greater Muncie Chamber of Commerce, we do all three of those, and we do them really well. Thanks for asking. That's a good question.
Of course, Elizabeth, is there, within all of that you just mentioned, how is your position intertwined with that to help move the Chamber of Commerce to a position to better serve the greater area?
So I am the president and CEO of the Greater Muncie Chamber of Commerce. And my role, and another, actually, maybe a fourth pronged role of the chamber, is to be a collaborative effort within a community. So we don't do anything as far as building houses, but we are putting on a housing summit. And the reason we're putting that on is to bring awareness to the issue of the housing needs that we have. So we're bringing in experts from around the state to talk about things that are being done at the state level, and how we can better collaborate to get new housing projects started in our community. So I think probably my biggest role is to make sure that people in the community are talking to one another in a collaborative effort to make sure that we're moving our community forward. And again, the chamber will play a role because all of those businesses are usually already members of the chamber. So if we understand that there's a problem in one particular area, we can say, hey, we know these other folks that are chamber members, and we can bring you together and work to solve a problem in that capacity.
I love all that you mentioned there, Elizabeth, especially trying to cultivate the relationships and have everything be as strong as possible with inside the community. How are you and the chamber working together with Ball State to help push that mission as well?
Oh, great question. So our chamber, the folks that work at the chamber, we're all involved in the community on different boards and different committees. And one of the committees that I serve on is Next Muncie. And so Dr. Mearns sits on that committee with me. And so we get together once a month with some other folks in the community who are leaders in one capacity or another. And we, again, talk about issues that Delaware County is facing. And so I interact with Dr. Mearns on a monthly basis to talk about just those issues. So a great way that we interact with Ball State is if Ball State is working towards a project for an expansion, they can work with the City of Muncie and the Chamber of Commerce, and we can help them again through red tape as far as building issues if they need it. But I will also say that conversely, Ball State University does a fantastic job promoting Muncie and Delaware County as well. And I've been really appreciative of that. So one of the things that I love is the work-based learning that's happening with Ball State students, and having them filter out into our communities and get experience in their fields, helping them build their expertise, but it also helps our community. I also love the fact that there are people within the Ball State community, professors or staff that serve on other community committees as well. So another good example of that is Heather Williams at Ball State. In her capacity and how she serves, she is also serving on that housing summit that I spoke to you about earlier in this broadcast. So Heather sits on a committee with me to help bring that housing summit to fruition. And she has a background and expertise in her area. And Ball State and the Chamber just work really well in our community and helping it be advanced forward. So it's a great partnership.
The best part about all that, Elizabeth, is the ability for all the parties to come together and work for a greater good for the community, because everybody talks about how strong Ball State is in the community, but to hear you say that from your aspect is also very important. You mentioned a couple of things about finding ways to improve things and continue to grow. What are some things that the Chamber is doing right now to help the community grow that may be different from past years, or are there any special projects that you and the team are working on?
Sure. So one component that we have is we are a combined chamber economic development organization. And so I told you what the main three prongs of a chamber are, but economic development organizations exist to help small businesses, medium and large businesses grow that are already established in a community. And they also serve a purpose to attract new businesses to come into the area. So that overlap between economic development and the chamber as far as helping small businesses grow is really unique to have under one umbrella. And what economic development does differently than the chamber for small businesses is the economic development organization has capacity to help small businesses understand where grants might be available for them or help them work through a tax abatement issue. So if we have an existing company and they would like to bring on a new line or a new piece of machinery, the economic development arm of the Greater Muncie Chamber of Commerce can help with that capacity as well. And so what we're seeing differently within our organization is in a lot of communities that chamber and economic development piece are separate. They are oftentimes not under the same umbrella. More often than not, they're not even necessarily in the same building. And so they are two distinct organizations. However, there's so much of an overlap that we are really unique in that we have it's all together. So if, for instance, if you come to our Muncie on the Move breakfast that we have every other month, and you speak to one of our chamber people, and at that meeting you say, oh, well, hey, we're going to buy this new piece of machinery, then the chamber member can say, you need to speak to the economic development side of our organization to talk about helping you get a tax abatement. And so we're unique in doing that. There are so many other communities that don't have that. And there's starting to be a movement towards that. In fact, there's another county in Delaware County, and I won't mention their name. Actually, there are two of them, and they are moving towards the same model that we have. And they've already reached out to us for some assistance in jumping through the hoops to merge those two organizations. And we've been doing that here really well since 1988, I think. And so we are just now, we've worked together in the same building, and we have shared the same president and CEO for both of those organizations, but we are moving to solidify it and actually have it be part of the same umbrella. So we were first to do that way back in the 80s, a long time ago. And we've served as a model for other people to start doing that as well.
Elizabeth, is there anything that you would like the public to know that we haven't talked about yet about the chamber?
Yeah, so I just really cannot stress enough how much joining the chamber and being a part of the chamber events will help your business grow. And it's not about us getting membership or raising money in that capacity. It's just about helping businesses grow. When you meet other people in the community and you find likeness, it's going to be a natural fit. And so I love the story. So I met someone who said, well, I used to be a part of the chamber, I used to be a member, and I just didn't get anything out of it. And I said, oh, wow, that's interesting. So, well, did you go to our Muncie on the Move breakfast? And the answer was, well, no, I never did that. Oh, it's interesting. Well, did you go to our annual golf out? Because we have 3 flights that are completely full. And so it is literally the largest golf outing in the multi-county area. No, I didn't go to that. Well, okay, so you didn't go to that. Well, did you come to the annual meeting? Did you go to any of the educational opportunities? Well, no, I really didn't get that. And I said, gosh, it sounds to me like your chamber membership is kind of like a gym membership. You bought the gym membership, but you never went. And then you want to tell me you didn't lose any weight or gain any muscle. And so his response was touche. And he became a member and actually started going to some of the events. And his business has really increased. And so I tell people, you can't just be a member, you have to engage. We will help you engage. We will help you have the opportunity to engage to build your business. But you can't just become a member and then not go to anything and not take advantage of the education opportunities. You have to participate as well. And so once that gentleman did that, and he probably wouldn't care if I mentioned his name because, again, it would be more business for him. But after a year he said, you're right, I wasn't putting anything into it. And he said, this isn't just you're going to market for me. You're giving me the opportunity to be in front of so many different people, that he has seen a genuine increase in his business. So much so that he actually then agreed to be a chamber ambassador, which is a volunteer group of people in our community who have benefited so much from their chamber membership that they go around for free and tell people this was wonderful and you should be a part of the chamber as well. So that's a great testament story as to why you should be a member of the Greater Muncie Chamber of Commerce.
Elizabeth, I think you just motivated me to finally actively use my gym membership.
There you go.
And also spread the word about the Muncie Greater Chamber of Commerce as well. But that is a fantastic story, and hear that story and that motivation for that person to do that and be a bigger part of the chamber and the activity in the community is special. And that's what makes you all special. We really appreciate your time here on the podcast, and we appreciate everything that you do for the community.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. And I guess I will just leave a final word that if you want to learn more about the chamber and you want to learn how you can help your business grow, you can always go to our website, and that's the chamber.org, and you'll find everything there. If you're interested in membership, there's a tab for that. If you're interested in the events that we have, there's a tab for that. It can kind of help give you an understanding as far as what's available to you as a business to help that business grow. So again, that's munciechamber.org. And thank you so much for having me. This has been super fun. And chirp, chirp.
Thanks for listening to This Week in Ball State Sports, presented by Gainbridge. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Gainbridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network.